you, Dr. Perry, Catherine, and all the organizers. Yes, the organization that I'm going to speak on behalf is a coalition of 17 political parties, including Mr. Hejri's, several Kurds, Turkish, Arab, minority organization from all around the country. The manifesto and the list of the organizations are outside. Please help yourself as my copy of my remarks. It was said that Iran is a multinational and a multi-ethnic country. What it was not said that Iran, in fact, is the most diverse country in the Middle East. It is. It's composed of Azeri Turks, Persians, Kurds, Ahwazi Arabs, Baluch, Turkmen, Lurs, Armenians, Assyrian, Mandians, and others. Iranians are Muslim, Jews, Christian, Baha'is, Zoroastrians, and others. No one nationality or ethnic group is the majority, though. However, the Iranian centralized government has effectively denied the country's many minorities their cultural, linguistic, and social rights, creating a system in which non-Persian communities are discriminated against and treated as second and third-class citizens. National minorities in Iran are said to make up at least half, some say all the way up to 2/3 of the country. Lack of freedoms and fundamental rights, brutal oppression, injustice, high unemployment and poverty, religious, ethnic, and gender discrimination under the totalitarian Islamic Republic regime are unparalleled anywhere in the world. Knowing that these same conditions set the context for the Arab Spring, it is safe to assume that changes will come to Iran sooner or later. We hope sooner. With the emergence of the Reza Shah Pahlavi in 1925, the Iranian state embarked on a project of nation building at the beginning of the 20th century, aiming to create a singular so-called Iranian nation by suppressing ethnic diversity within the country and imposing a Persian ethnic identity on Kurds, Turks, Arabs, Baluch, and Turkmen ethnic communities. But by all accounts, nation building in Iran has failed, and the Shia/Persian state nationalism has been repeatedly challenged. Oppressed non-dominant nationalities in Iran have been in the forefront of the struggle for democracy over the past 3 decades. In the outlying oppressed regions of Khuzestan, Al-Ahwaz, Kurdistan, Baluchistan, and Azerbaijan, we currently have active anti-government movements ranging from full-blown insurgencies to civil resistance and civil disobedience. Regime's response has invariably been brutal suppression of any protestations or demands. Even the demands for the implementation of the Iranian constitutional articles of 15 and 19 that allow for some autonomy in languages rights. People actually in jail, we track several hundred that are demanding the implementation of the Iranian constitutional articles. In my own majority Arab province of Khuzestan or Ahwaz, there has been 39 executions of human rights and political activists in the past 5 weeks since 14 April 2011, the start of the Arab peaceful demonstration against Tehran's ethnic cleansing and ethnic restructuring policies against Arabs. Last week, 3 Ahwazi Arabs were hanged in public in the Malashia section of Ahwaz city, and 6 others were executed the same week in Karun prison. Just last Friday, 3 days ago, Mr. Jaber Ka'bi died under torture in Sepidar prison in Ahwaz, as reported by Amnesty International. But Tehran media were silent to all this and other execution of ethnic minorities. But they were not alone. So were the US media. So were the US-funded Persian services media were silent on these. Iranian reformist or nationalist media have rarely protested or condemned the extensive human rights violations against ethnic minorities, and sometimes even carried out deliberate misrepresentations of national minority objectives. This lack of solidarity has fomented mistrust toward the nationalists and especially the reformist movement. Minorities call for decentralization, regarded as threats to Iran's territorial integrity, although none of the major parties or organizations of non-dominant nationalities call for the breakup of Iran, and all have publicly rejected secessionist policy. Instead, federalism and regional autonomy were presented as an alternative that would enable national minority groups to better manage their issues, such as land loss, cultural identity, equal access to resources, and study in their own mother languages. We believe a secular Federal Republic of Iran can be established by the voluntary unity of Iranian nationalities and ethnic groups. A federal constitution could feasibly unite the population of Iran by ensuring equal rights for all citizens and accepting the diversity in culture and language, replacing the current highly centralized and chauvinistic political structure. In a multi-ethnic state, citizens of Iran should have the opportunity to decide their own future without being forcibly subject to a cultural hierarchy and to solve the chronic internal crisis perpetuated by successive dictatorships. It was toward this end that the Congress of Nationalities for Federal Iran was created in 25 February of 2003 in London from 17 regional organizations. CENFI is part of the transition of the Iranian society to a democratic system, advocating for peaceful change from within Iran by its own peoples. We believe that Iran should belong to all of its constituent nationalities and peoples, and all should rule with equal voice and actively participate in all affairs of its governance. Therefore, inclusiveness is a key driver for democratic and social equality, not only for ethnic minority groups, but also for women and religious groups. We believe that failure of the leader of the so-called Green Movement, I will conclude. Believe that the failure of the leaders of the so-called Green Movement to articulate or reflect the demands and the needs of the non-Persian ethnic groups could not garner the needed enthusiastic support in outlying ethnic provinces, hence limited its potentials. Iranian national groups have extremely suspicious of any changes that do not guarantee their place in future Iran. Okay. It is, I'm sorry, but I had to cover, I speak on a coalition of all of us, you know, and my conclusion is that, my remarks are outside, please help yourself. Thank you.